Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to George Gaddis Memorial Stadium on a brisk Friday night in October. We're presented with the first time since 2012 with a win, Prospect football could return to the playoffs. I'm Connor Daber alongside here with Wyatt Utrecht. Wyatt, thanks for being on here. What do you think are tonight's keys to the game for Prospect's offense?
Well, for Prospect's offense, it's just keep doing what you did against Wheeling last week. It seems like the offense just went into a tailspin against Buffalo Grove. They struggled the entire game with the exception of the opening drive.
Absolutely.
With a touchdown from Jimmy Martin to Matt Meyer. So it's just continuing to do what you did. Pass the ball and run the ball, combine them into both. Be aggressive play calling from Dan DeBuff and Matt Weber. That's going to be the biggest factor for tonight for Prospect offense, but I don't think that's the biggest key for Prospect as a whole in order to try and make them playoff eligible for the first time since 2012. It's keep the defense off the field.
Definitely.
That defense was on the field a lot in the 36-33 win against Wheeling in overtime last week. So keeping that defense off the field is the biggest key for Prospect to try and get to the playoffs for the first time in 6 years.
Definitely. And I think if you take on the other side of the ball for Elk Grove, they're 1-7 this year. Obviously, it's been another struggling season with head coach Miles Osei. I think for them, you play the spoiler. You know, if you beat Prospect against tonight, you ruin their playoff hopes. For Elk Grove, it's just trying to put some drives together and play spoiler.
And I think you said struggle. I know Elk Grove is 1-7 right now, but this is a team that really, I don't think struggle's a word. I think they're just finding their way.
Okay.
You know, this is a 1-7 team, and this is a very scrappy 1-7 team. You just look at the losses. Okay, Hoffman Estates, they lost 28-21 in overtime on their opening night. Hoffman Estates handled Prospect easily in the week 2 game out in Hoffman Estates.
They did.
You look, they gave up 42 points to Rolling Meadows, 31 to Glenbrook North, and Maine West. But these are all really good football teams with really good players this year. So I think this is going to be a really interesting game, and I think it couldn't get much better for Miles Osei. Play spoiler in the high school you once played at. So this is going to be a fun night. I think this is going to be a very, very competitive football game.
Absolutely, and we're moments away from kickoff and what will be the final regular season of Dan DeBuff's first year as a head coach, and I think so far we can say it's been a great success. Come here with excitement into the program, and he's one game away from delivering his promise of returning Prospect to the playoffs.
And we still have to see if they're going to make the playoffs. Obviously, they'll be playoff eligible, I think is what we got to say. As it's going to be a fun night. A very cold night tonight. It's
And with the kick, we're underway. And Prospect will let the kick fall back in the end zone, let Jimmy Martin and the offense take over first.
You know, he's been the X factor, I think, to the offense all year. Wherever Jimmy goes, it seems like this offense is going. Last week against Wheeling, he had a very good game, both on the ground and in the air. That's going to be key. He's got to keep throwing the football. Even when there's run plays available, obviously take advantage of those run plays. But you also have to be very lenient on the passing game as well. You can't just run the football like they have the last couple of years of it being a heavy offense.
Right.
So that's going to be key for Wheeling. He's for
Martin
Prospect
in the shotgun.
tonight.
Sorry to interrupt you there. Martin hands it off to Chef. It's for about 5 or 6 yards. A nice start to this Prospect drive. And I think one of the things that's most important for the Knights first is, like we said last week against Wheeling, scoring first, taking control of this game, and running the game your way throughout the rest of the game.
Absolutely, and I think this is probably the biggest game Michael Chef has had in his 3-year varsity career, as Jimmy's going to throw it here.
Another pitch to Chef is up the right side, able to get a few more yards. That should be a first down for the Knights.
Actually, it looks like Matt Meyer on the catch,
6'1"
receiver.
Meyer.
Number 88. Yeah, and this receiving core is only going to get more experience as we move on next year. A lot of juniors. You talk about Ryan Traviola, Brian Doherty, and of course, Matt Meyer. There's only really one senior on the receiving core, that being Nick Mariani.
Chef is up the middle again and go for about 3 yards. And like you said, too, there's definitely, a bright future for this wide receiver core with 2 of the 3, Matt Meyer and Ryan Traviola, both being juniors, getting that varsity experience so that they can really be leaders for the team next year.
Absolutely, and I think there's going to be a lot of talk, obviously, with Jimmy going. Who's next man up in the quarterback system? A lot of people talking about Gary Moeller. He plays on defense, as Martin's going to gain up about 2 there. And I think for Martin, he had a very good week last week. 3 touchdown runs. And he tied the game last week with that 2-yard touchdown, reached over for the pylon. I think that touchdown meant as much as anyone with his family history in the Prospect football program.
Jimmy, this year, especially in his senior year, has been very vocal about his goals, trying to return to Prospect football to what it is. And we talked to him in the interview afterwards. He said it's like being in a video game. It's exactly what he had dreamed about when he talked about bringing Prospect football back to what it was.
And this is a video game dream. You don't get much chances. There's Michael Schaff.
Schaff is up the middle. breaking tackles left and right. What a run from Michael Schaffes up to the 35-yard line. Great start for the Knights.
That's what he's been doing all the 3 years he's been here. I mean, of course, his first year it wasn't as much, but
right.
The workload just increased rapidly. He had 134 yards last week.
That's just the piece that Schaffes is so critical to this offense. Now Martin in the shotgun again. Oh, look, he's got Schaffes on the right. Takes up a little bit. Schaffes fighting for those yards. Will get about 1 or 2.
Hey, yeah, 134 yards rushing, and how fitting that the touchdown that was scored at the end of the football game to send Prospect to this football game was scored by the Michael Schaffes.
It was.
No surprise there, and I think it helps that he's a very large man, and with the good vertical, as he is a high jumper, and that doesn't hurt as well.
Martin will keep it this time up himself. Will try to run up the middle, sneaks out of a tackle, and he'll get up past the 30-yard line for another Knights first down.
Nice
a great opening drive so far for the Knights.
It's a very good start. Jimmy is finding holes in the Elk Grove pass rush. This is of course a young football team, but I think with Miles Osei leading the charge, there's a lot more people coming into this football program buying into what he is believing in. Not a lot of people in the program under the last couple of years for Elk Grove. That number has increased drastically since he came up.
Martin again in the shotgun. He'll look. He's got Mariani on the right side for about 4 or 5 yards, pushed out of bounds. And 9:34 remaining in the first quarter. The score is 0-0. Prospect looking to score on their opening drive.
I think that's going to be key for Prospect. Scoring on the opening drive. They did it against Buffalo Grove 2 weeks ago at Grant Blaney Stadium, and that didn't turn out the way they wanted to. It just seemed like Buffalo Grove just had the momentum all along there, and even though it was a downpour.
Now Martin will look back to Buff to try to get the right play.
And then Matt Weber, Tim Beischer also sending in signals as well. Offensive play.
Hands it off to Schaffes. Schaffes nowhere really to go. Gain of 2, which will force a 3rd and 4 now on Elk Grove's 16-yard line.
Is this 4-down territory, Mr. Graver?
You know, I think at this point you got to trust your kicker and Anthony Santangelo. We talked about last week how it was 4-down territory, but that was with the weather. You know, it's a little warmer than it was. I think you take your kicker for now and you get some solid points.
It was a windy night last week. Last week he also missed that extra point right off the upright.
Just added so much more drama to the game.
It was on.
Martin deep. Came down with it. That's a touchdown. What a pass from Jimmy Martin. Wow.
Wow, what a throw and what a catch there.
Brian Doherty, Jimmy Martin. What a great play. Following the ball, fighting for that ball too when he was up against defenders. Great play.
Brian Doherty is not the biggest human being in terms of height.
No.
And he was going up against number 1 Vinny Fasciano, who's also not the biggest, but that was a great job there. I think it was a very good coverage by Fasciano and Elk Grove.
Jimmy put it right where you wanted, which is above your right shoulder. And he just made Brian go up and fight for that ball.
Great coverage, better throw, and a better catch, and Prospects on the board first. So a great start for Dan DeBuff and company.
See a little trickery from the Knights here, but they'll line up in their normal extra point formation.
And I think, Connor, you might not have noticed, but Gary Moeller is holding. Ryan Traviola did it earlier this season.
It's good. Santangelo adds another points. The Knights lead 7-0. 8 minutes, 56 seconds left to go in the first. Elk Grove will get the ball first next.
Now let's see what Charlie Jancek will do, the Elk Grove quarterback. He's a guy. This is kind of his second go around. He was around last year. He was the backup to Tyler Selvig, who's now in college, graduated for the Grenadiers. So we'll see what he does. He's a pretty good quarterback.
He is.
He's not one of those guys who is going to be like. He's not going to be like heavy run. There's going to be a lot of run plays with Ian Ridge, their sophomore running back. He's been very good for the Grens this year. But this is not a bad offense. But
no, not by any means.
Scored 21 against a pretty good Hoffman defense. 10 against Conan. Conan's had a wonderful year. Maine West defense is just unbelievable. Glenbrook North 14. Rolling Meadows, they put up 20. That's impressive. Even though last week they gave up 35 to Hersey.
Yes.
Wheeling, they put up 38, 10 to Hersey, and 7 to Buffalo Grove in a very heavy defensive contest, which I'm sure Miles Osei is really happy about.
And Santangelo looks to kick it back. He's got Nick Diaz and Ian Ridge back deep to return it for the Grenadiers.
See if you see some urgency from Elk Grove here.
Great kick from Santangelo going around the 8-yard line. Ridge will take it up the middle.
He's a fast kid.
A little bit of a hole right up to around the 29-yard line. Great place for Elk Grove to start their first drive.
And let's see, I think Let's see what they're going to. I think you're going to see a lot of runs here with Ian Ridge, number 2 in white. But also be wary of the Charlie Jancic throw. Looks like Elk Grove is packing in slowly. It's a very, very, very chilly night here at George Gaddis Memorial Stadium.
And on that first drive, we saw Martin going 4 for 4 for 29 yards in that touchdown, and Michael Schaff has 4 carries for 36 yards. Great start from the Knights.
Absolutely. I think you can't start any better. Get the running game going with Michael Schaffis. Also, you're going to see Luke Zardzin, I assume, later today.
Jancic will throw it up to Ridge. Ridge find a little bit of a hole. Get about 4 or 5 yards.
He's a quick guy on screen passes.
Really is.
So those screen passes, Prospect's got to tackle. I think tackling has been a problem that Prospect has had a couple weeks ago. Buffalo Grove especially, along with Rolling Meadows, but who's going to tackle Rolling Meadows with Tim Sislak and Jace O'Hara running the football?
Very true.
So good luck with that, and you also have their passing game. So tackling is going to be a big focus here tonight for Prospect.
Jancic again the shotgun. He pumps. He'll throw up to Shea Crimmins. Crimmins will get a couple of yards.
He's going to get the first down.
I think he will have that forward progress to get that first down. And it'll be important, too, to see the Knights defense to try to get a stop on defense in this first drive and really take control of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you put the foot down there as well, and well, even though Elk Grove's going to get the football to start the second half, even though that's 20 minutes away. But
a lot of time.
Obviously, first drive stops really do help in every game. And let's see if Prospect provide pressure there.
They'll try Ridge again on the screen. Nowhere to go, but a flag is thrown.
I think this might be this is going to be a hold against, I think, Elk Grove.
Will be against Elk Grove. That'll set them 10 yards back. So a nice break for the Knights. We'll see if they can capitalize.
There you go. Yeah, let's see if there's any changes here on this play from Miles Osei and company. Maybe they're going to check their intermediate routes. Maybe they throw the ball a little deeper down the field. We'll see what they do here. We're going to have a 4-wide set.
Interesting.
It looks like they're going to pass. Ian Ridge is the only guy back there.
They have Joey Gaskill in the back. Is their main back. Oh, I'm sorry. Gaskill will be taking the snap. Might be running the Wildcat here.
That is interesting. That's actually, let's see.
Jordan Vila tripped up. Really had nowhere to go on that one. Now, if we had been in the NFL, he'd be able to get up and keep running. Yeah, but along with high school and college, once the player's down, they're down.
Yeah, Joey Gaskill. Jancic is still on the sideline, 6 in white. Wonder if he's okay or something.
Looks like Gaskill will take over.
He's a sophomore. He's a young kid, so this is
a lot of pressure for him.
Glimpse of the future here for Elk Grove.
Looks to swing it. Oh, just over the hands of Dylan Esner. If he could have connected on that, that could have been a big play for Gaskill.
And also you had Aaron Herrera, number 3, running down the sideline. If that just gets tipped and a little closer to the right, that's a catch, and that's a wide open touchdown.
Those
for Elk
tip
Grove.
balls are very, very dangerous, especially up the middle. You get a ball, bounces off a receiver's hands. It's just floating there. Very dangerous ball. Gaskill again will be in the shotgun.
It's a good throw there, too. It was a pretty good throw. Just a little high.
Gaskill evading pressure, almost knocked down.
He's got a
Tries
lot
to
of
sneak
speed.
up the middle. Wow, using that. Wow.
Oh,
Joey Gaskill, what a play.
Well, that's a way to
get a play.
That's a way to get your football team excited on a 3rd and 21, and he just did that.
Wow. It reminds me last week against Wheeling how these long 3rd and 4th downs killed the Knights. Wheeling's offense went 7 of 8 on 4th down conversions last week.
They had a great time on 4th down last week. That also helped with Michael Best leading a charge for Wheeling in the later parts. That's a huge gain there for Gaskill.
Now Gaskill again in the shotgun with Ridge on the side. Hands it off to Ridge. Ridge tries to run up the middle, tries to get a hole, breaks out of a tackle. Should be about gain of 5 or 6 yards. And so far we've seen from Elk Grove, they're fast. They've been very fast on the field.
They're a very fast team. They're not going to be the biggest guys in the world. Joey Gaskill's only 5'7", 160. Ian Ridge only being 5'7", 160 as well. These aren't the biggest guys, but they have so much speed and quickness and agility. And that's gonna make it even more important for the Knights to get those tackles and knock these guys down.
Alone in the backfield.
Oh my!
Flea flicker. Oh wow! What a play, Ian Ridge.
And
what a play.
What a play. What a trickery there.
Ian Ridge throwing to Vinny Fancino. What a play.
Who's Joey Gaskill again?
Yeah, honestly, I'd keep Ian Ridge in after that throw.
I think you can keep them both in the way they played on that drive. That huge run from Gaskill. And now a trickery flea flicker there from Ian Ridge. My goodness.
Very, very impressive.
Here's a lefty
start from
kicker.
Elk Grove's defense.
Here's a lefty kicker as well. It's number 51. That's Antonio Sandoval.
Got Antonio Sandoval and Anthony Santangelo. Pretty close names for our kicker.
You also have one who's a left. You don't see a lot of left-footed
No,
kickers
you really
in high
don't.
school.
But Elk Grove ties it up on a very impressive first drive. We'll look see if the Knights can respond.
How do you respond? I mean, that's just one of those plays where it's just, it just goes right. And I think that shocked defensive coordinator Brock Collins. I didn't think he was expecting that early.
We'll see if they'll try to switch their game plan up. Now they know that Elk Grove is really, I see Elk Grove running the flea flicker as putting everything they've got in the last game of the season, really trying to play that
they're
spoiler.
They're expanding the playbook to almost everything they've done all year against
and that's what you should do in a game like this for both teams. This is a do or die situation for Prospect.
Play the spoiler. I mean, it wouldn't get much better than that.
No.
For Elk Grove and a coach like Miles Osei, as well as a couple of his assistants, Mike Camadula, former assistant coach for our football team in the Brett Perlman era.
And now we've got
head track and field coach for the boys for a number of years at Wheeling for a long time.
Noah Marks, Luke Zardzin back deep for the Knights to try to return this kick, try to get some more points on the board.
Were you expecting that flea flicker there, Connor?
I was not.
That was impressive.
And the ball up.
Oh, my.
Big, booming kick. Marks will let it fall right behind them, and the Knights will start up at the 20.
I think it's nice to have a kickoff specialist like that on those plays. My goodness.
Yeah, it was. Very,
That's
very
a very
impressive
good kick. But, again, the wind is blowing right at his back. And
That's
it's a pretty hefty one. But that's still an impressive kick for someone of this age to do.
Martin in the shotgun. He's got
Zardzin's in the backfield.
Zardzin in the backfield with 3 deep for him. We'll see what the Knights got up to on this first play.
And kind of let's see how they change up the running attack. It's a bit different, Luke Zardzin as well.
Zardzin.
Got to be careful.
Shot out of a cannon there.
Got to be careful he doesn't lose onto the football, especially with like something like that. But Luke does a very good job holding onto the football, and he's shown this year that he's going to be the back of the future for the Prospect Knights. Next
year the hands are. He's in Prospect football's running back game is in very good hands with Luke Zardzin.
And we'll see what the offense becomes next year. It should be very exciting.
Martin again. I'll hand it off to Zardzin. Zardzin can't get too much, trying to break up to the right side. Should be 3rd and 4 for the Knights.
I think that Luke Zardzin and Michael Sheffers, they run very similar running styles. They're both guys that are going to break tackles and that stuff, but Michael just has the height.
Michael has the height,
He's got the height.
That's very true.
He just is a little taller, so we can see a little more. And that's nothing to take away from Luke Zardzin. He's still a very good running back. But they're very similar styles, but just a little different as Martin's going to throw short.
To throw it. And he's got pass complete to.
Be very close. I think
will be very close. Maybe bring out the Chang gang for this one.
I think they're going to.
Pass complete to Mariani, I believe.
I think it'll be a yard short or so.
Now, is this 4-down territory?
No.
A case like this, would you go for it?
No? I think Dan DeBuff is going to disagree with me. Maybe a little QB sneak action here. If he's going to go straight up to the line, we know it's coming. Here he goes.
Very important play, and that's what they will do. And Martin's got it, able to break off to the left side. Risky play for the Buff.
You can always tell that he's going to QB sneak when he comes right up to the line. You just know he's going to come right there, and then a little outside giant. Nice job there from Jimmy Martin. Good job from the offensive line, especially the left side of the offensive line. Get some space for Jimmy to.
Very important 4th down for the Knights. They really needed to convert that to try to keep control of this game.
I can't believe they tried it. Elk Grove has had a good start to the offensive drive here for them.
Martin looking deep, looking at his options. Pocket collapses around him, trying to make a play. Able to sneak maybe a yard or two. Should be 2nd and 9.
I think that this is going to be key for Prospect. I think this is what's going to define whether they win or lose tonight. QB draws and screen passes, they're not going to win you the football game.
That's true.
There might be a play where, obviously, if it scores a touchdown, that's great. But you got to throw the ball in the intermediate to deep down the field to win this football game, especially.
Agree. It's keeping, that do-or-die mentality that you need to take those risks like that in a game like this.
Elk Grove is playing 2 safeties back there, so they're going to obviously try and prevent as there's another short pass.
Martin slings it a little bit. Had Matt Neal on the right side.
Matt Neal had an injury earlier in the season, wasn't playing much. Now he's back. Good to see him healthy. There's another junior who's played a lot last year with Mike Sebastian and crew. He's obviously a lot more experienced.
Zardzin up the middle, able to get 2 or 3 yards. You know,
double or nothing.
You need to. I don't think you go for this one. I think it's a little too far for you. You gotta take those risks. You know, call those big plays.
This is your season.
This is it.
I think Dan DeBuff knows this is. He obviously knows when we talk to him live at Buffalo Wild Wings for Prospect Football Weekly. This is it.
And he'll go again on 4th down. We'll see if the Knights can convert a second one in a row, but looks like it won't be a sneak this time. Martin again in the shotgun.
Or is he just going to
try to jump him offside?
Or is he just going to use the hard count here to draw him offside? So we'll see if he's DeBuff's right by the official. We'll see if he's going to use that. Nope.
Jimmy's going to run up the middle from the shotgun. Wow, but he breaks free. Passed into Elk Grove territory. A very risky call from DeBuff, but it paid off.
Prospect offensive line has been doing a great job here so far, blocking their ways, blocking their guys, and giving Jimmy Martin a chance to run the football, and he's been doing that just fine here in this second drive.
Quick up-tempo offense. Jimmy takes it up to the left, but he's pulled back. A possible horse collar, I think it will be. It's pretty obvious there how Martin flew backwards, that there was definitely a penalty that needed to be warranted on that play.
Yeah, either grabbed him by the jersey or the horse collar. Very, very, very tough. Let's see. Check it out.
Referees confirming with each other what the call is.
That's a big penalty. That's going to put them in. They were already in Elk Grove territory.
Deeper in Elk Grove territory, absolutely.
They're going to wave it off.
They're going to wave it off. No flag. But it's all right. You can, got the first down on the play. You didn't need that flag. If you got it, be nice, but you don't need it. Martin again in the shotgun. He'll try to hand it off to Zardzin again. Nowhere to go.
That's not going to work.
That's stifling.
Elk Grove is going to be providing pressure against this run defense. That's not going to work. And on these third downs, we've seen a lot of short passes. Those aren't going to work. On a 3rd and 11, now it's a 3rd and 13. You're going to have to throw the football at least 5 or 10 yards.
That's true.
In this football game in order to get this. Elk Grove's going to be playing a lot of protect with 2 safeties in the back.
Oh, very, very crucial 3rd down here for the Knights. And
Vinny Fasciano and
Camp will be coming out.
Vinny Fasciano and Mark Matos they're going to be playing at about the 40-yard line. They're just trying to make sure this doesn't get. They don't want them getting to the line.
Big 3rd down play here.
Fourth and if it's a 4th and miss this pass, it's a 4th and 13. You got to send the punting unit out.
I think so. I don't think I don't. 3rd time would not be a charm in this case.
I think they're gonna have maybe a little discussion here. Mitch is good to go. Mitch Camp is as dedicated as a football player as I've ever seen. He is. Whenever I talk to him, that's just the first thing that comes up to mind. He is a very, very good football player.
And again to Brian Doherty. They're going to try the flea flicker themselves. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Picked off by number 9, Dylan Elsner. They tried to pull off what Elk Grove did, and wow, did it blow up in their face.
That reminded me very similarly of what they did last year at home against Rolling Meadows, and they threw that flea flicker under Mike Sebastian. This time they tried to do what Elk Grove did. It just didn't work. Pressure was on Brian Doherty, and he got hit as he was throwing. And Elk Grove.
We talked about again those deflected passes in a big group. It's a dangerous ball. As we saw Dylan Elsner, who was able to fall right into his hands. So an interception for wide receiver Brian Doherty. Didn't see that one coming in the beginning of the game.
I don't think anybody expected 2 trick plays at the beginning of this game. And it's actually been the 2 trick plays that have been a huge part in this football game. One worked, and the other didn't for Elk Grove, and the other one did not for Prospect. So, who would have thought 2 trick plays would have such a big impact?
Now the question is, does DeBuff continue to take those risks? He's seen that the trick play blew up in front of him. Yeah, I think you do. You just take it. You got to move on.
If
you
this
made
was a game where you're 6-3 and you're in the playoffs, be a little more conservative with your play calling. But you're 4-4, and your playoff lines are on the line. You have to continue to be aggressive here.
Great tackle by Friedrichs there. Stop a yard. And we still have Joey Gaskill in the back manning this Elk Grove offense. We'll get the play call from the side. Maybe alone in the shotgun this time on Prospect's 46-yard line.
Looks like Ian Ridge is right where he was when he threw that trick pass. Here we go.
Are they gonna try it again? No, stopped. Looked like it, but Michael Schaffers was all over Ian Ridge right there.
On those trick plays, you're gonna have to watch. You're gonna have to watch and make sure no one's around so you get that throw off. Brian Doherty, there was somebody right there, and it got tipped up, and it was picked off. So you're gonna have to make a read and make sure that no one's around. So
time.
So that was just a pass you just
running down now. Just over 30 seconds left. Gaskill again in the backfield, surveying his options, trying to go deep. Pocket collapses. He'll run up the middle again.
Now does Elk Grove go 4-down territory here, Connor?
I really don't think so. No, I think it's the end of the first quarter.
Why not?
We play it safe. That's just me.
You're
play it safe.
You're a 1-7 football team.
That's very true.
Try and spoil the Prospect return to the playoffs.
And I think they're gonna take your advice over mine, as it looks like Gaskill will stay out there.
Also, watch out for the pooch punt here, Connor.
Could see that.
And I think they're just gonna switch sides. Talk it over from there.
So the end of the first quarter, Prospect Knights 7, Elk Grove Grenadiers 7. Wyatt, overall, first impressions from the first quarter?
Well, Connor, I think it has been aggressive to say the least.
Absolutely.
And I think the aggression of Prospect has gone against them, while the aggression of Elk Grove has gone for them.
I agree.
So I think those 2 trick plays, I think those were good calls. But I think maybe for Prospect might have been a little too early.
I agree.
I think on the first drive after Elk Grove scored on a trick play, I don't think you go to it straight away. Maybe like talk it over in the second half, get it all planned out. Yeah, that worked perfectly. They might not expect it, but right after they did it, I think that might have been a little bit questionable there. From Dan DeBuff and Matt Weber.
I agree, and we'll see right here if Gaskill will stay out, and they won't maybe try to go for it. It should be 4th and 5 now. Prospect 42. Risky play here.
You know, you're there. You're here. Your quarterback has already had a huge 4th down conversion for you today.
4th and 5.
Quarterback, but I don't think they're going to listen to our advice. I think they're going to punt it.
Oh, it's a deflect punt right there. Great play by Michael Schaff, is getting a hand on that punt. It was about 2 yards.
Let's see. I think Michael Schaff I think he got a hand on it.
I think he did.
Or it was just.
And you notice all the pop.
I think when I just watched the replay, I think it just went up. It was just a really
just
high
a bad
kick.
punt. Okay.
I don't think it was.
Gaskill might have felt the pressure. Just shot it right up.
And then it just went up. I think that's what it was. Michael Schaff has made a great play to get pressure on it, but I don't think he got a hand on it.
A big break for the Knights. Martin now will try to air it out. He's got Matt Meyer. Meyer with a nice juke, runs up the middle, fights for those extra yards.
Now you got it. Now you get the moment. Got to get the momentum here on this drive for Prospect.
You do.
Elk Grove had it for a bit with that trick play. Now you just got to get it back and try and make the best out of it. I know that play.
Martin again in the shotgun. Fake handoff to Zards, and great pickup block by Zards, and Martin will be able to get 4 or 5 yards.
Jimmy's perfect here to start the game 7-7 through 1 quarter. He's been a lot more accurate the past couple weeks, especially against Wheeling last week. He had a very nice game.
He's been the player that they really need right now. They need that leader right now in a game like this.
He's been the X factor all season.
Martin will air it out deep now. He's got Mariani down the side, but overthrown for his first incomplete pass of the game.
And there you go. It's a good route there called from Dan DeBuff and Matt Weber, but a little too far thrown, a little far to the right. So no chance really for Nick Mariani. Nice coverage there by Vinny Fasciano. Back there, the safety for Elk Grove. Again, they're playing 2 safeties back.
They are. Important 3rd and 6 here for the Knights, as Martin will again take this ball in the shotgun. We'll see where he goes.
They're playing more contained, so we'll see if they provide any pressure here. Seen it a couple times.
Martin takes the snap. Another fake handoff to Zards. Another pickup block from Zards, and Martin spins off a tackle. He's able to fight for that first down. Great play by Martin.
It's gonna be. I think they're gonna give it to him. Yeah, they're gonna give it to him. Nice job there from Jimmy Martin. Just mixing the running game, which he has a lot of talent in, and also getting those passes and getting those completions. That was help too.
He's got a screen to Zards in, up the middle, 4 or 5 yards.
We see this Knights offense, this up-tempo offense, really grinding out plays. So far, it's been very successful.
Yeah, so far it has been successful. Now this Elk Grove defense is going to need a big step as well. We saw the Prospect Knights respond from that interception earlier.
Martin in the shotgun, again to Zardzin. Oh, excuse me, Michael Schaffis. He's able to run up the middle for 4 or 5 yards.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to use Luke Zardzin at the beginning of these plays and then use Michael Schaffis to just run them out.
I think that's the right move.
What they did last week. It's what they did against St. Viator. They used a lot of Zardzin early as Jimmy's going to go run again.
Elk Grove was not prepared for that sneak. Martin was able to sneak up the left side and get 5 or 6 yards in that play.
Yeah, they were not prepared because they were going so fast up to the line. That's what Dan DeBuff has been
up-tempo offense.
There you go, up-tempo offense, energy. That's what Dan DeBuff. That's like his motto, I think. That's his big slogan for this offense. Fast. Keep it moving. Get these plays off. Get in the end zone.
Martin ready to take the ball. Takes it. Hand off to Schaffis this time. Schaffis nowhere really to go. Locked up at around the 20.
Good job by the Elk Grove defense led by number 22, Josh Bilodeau.
And the Knights knocking on Elk Grove's doorstep again. Let's see if they can go up 14-7.
See if they go deep. Maybe go deep here on one of the next 2 plays.
Martin will go up the middle again. So far, great job for this offensive line led by senior Mitch Camp, creating these holes for Schaffis, Martin, and Zardzin to run through and really have been able to make some big plays.
Yeah, absolutely. Mitch Camp, Drew Churtel, Eric Malinowski. They've done a really nice job here early in this first quarter, giving Jimmy time to not only just run those QB draws and getting those sneaks in, but also giving him time to throw the football. Only one missed throw he had was the overthrow to Nick Mariani just a couple plays ago.
Martin will run it up for the 3rd time again.
Looks like the Prospect parents are asking for a holding call to no avail.
Should be very, very
it's
close.
It's going to be a 4th down.
Now, this close, 4-down territory, you try to get those points. If you're on a field goal, do you take that risk?
Connor, I could not be more certain. You got to take the risk in this. I think the big question is, would you rather be aggressive trying to make the playoffs or be too conservative?
I agree.
In a game like this, I think you gotta go for it here.
Martin trying to get Elk Grove's defense to jump off sides to get those free yards.
I think they're just gonna maybe call a timeout and take field goal. That's what they're gonna do.
That's what they'll do. I think right now, based on the time of the game, I think it's a smart decision. You try to get those guaranteed points. It's only 7-7, 8 minutes to go in the first half. Really not desperation time right now. Get those points; they could help you later.
Not usually like the Dan DeBuff from very aggressive play caller. Interesting move here. But again, we talked about Tony Santangelo last week. He missed that extra point. Wind's going to be at his back, so it's going to be favorable conditions to kick the football here. And now it's up to him to make it 10-7.
Redeem himself from that missed extra point.
And I think this drive is going to be key coming up for Elk Grove because you know what they got the football to start the second half.
Very true.
You can run the clock here and give Prospect maybe a minute to go and then just get the football back, try to take the lead again. Try to take even a big lead if they score.
That's true.
On the next drive. They're changing holders a lot here.
Santangelo. Right down the middle. Great play by Anthony Santangelo, putting 3 more points up on the board.
Looked like Mark
leaves 10-7.
Looked like Mark Matos must have seen something as he pointed and saying no good, but kicks good. Went right through the uprights. It must have been a little to the right, as we have the view of a little bit of an angle from up here. So it's a 50-degree night, Connor.
It's a brisk, cold Friday evening here in October.
Not as cold last week.
No, definitely not as cold as last week. But it's especially, the environment, it's different this week. It's the first time since 2012 that we've been able to, contend for a playoff spot. It's a very exciting time in Prospect football. And we'd like to take our time now to thank some of our sponsors, Buffalo Wild Wings of Mount Prospect, a very key part of our group, and Outback Steakhouse in Mount Prospect as well. Both have been very, very important members of our team.
Connor, if you could guess a number, what do you think Jimmy Martin's rushing total is of this game so far?
I'd say 30 yards or so.
You are 25 yards off, 10 carries, 55 yards for Jimmy. to start the game. A good start both through the air as well as on the ground. Also,
Wow.
stay tuned for a post-game story tonight on ProspectorNow.com. Tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on whether 12 a.m. comes first. Interesting kick. They're going to call a fair catch here.
Squib kick from Santangelo. Interesting call by Elk Grove too. Not even try to return it, just play it safe.
Just don't risk it. But now Elk Grove has kind of a decision to make. Do you run out a lot of the clock? But maybe that's a little too conservative. And what would you do if you're Miles Osei?
I think if you're Miles Osei, you try to control, the clock as much as you can. Try to take a long, fat drive, take out that 8 minutes, score, then be able to have the ball to go back in the second half.
We also stay tuned for a wonderful halftime show from the Prospect Marching Knights on their senior night.
As well as an interview from Tia Sadlon as she talks to head coach Dan DeBuff on the sideline before they run into the locker room.
We also apologize to all the parents of the Marching Knights for the lack of audio last weekend. We hope to have it again, as there's Joey Glaskill, who just keeps running.
The thing about Martin is Glasgow is they have these short, quick runs, but it really adds up over time. You don't even realize, like you said, Martin at 55 yards.
With the speed of Joey Glaskill and the Elk Grove offense, it's tough for a prospect to tackle him because of their great agility.
Absolutely.
They make such quick cuts that it's going to be tough for them to get to him, as well as Ian Ridge. So
Glasgow again, a quick snap. He's got Ridge up the middle. Ridge will fight for that first down. He'll get over the line. That'll be another first down for Elk Grove's offense.
Ian Ridge, not one of those massive human beings. He's 5'7", 160, but he used all of that to get that first down for the Grenadiers. Good start here for the Elk Grove offense here on their drive.
Elk Grove setting up again. We've got Glaskill in the shotgun. He'll look to take the snap. He's got 4 wide receivers to the left. It'll be another screen.
He's got to be careful.
Overthrown.
That's a backwards pass.
That's a fumble. That would be a live ball right there. So we saw some of the prospect defenders trying to swarm in and grab that ball.
And now we talk about what Joey Gaskill is going to do. We've seen him run the football. We saw that one intermediate pass was a little overthrown. But now the question is, how deep are you going to trust this kid to throw it?
That's true.
This is a guy who really hasn't started much here at Elk Grove. But I think you're definitely seeing some flashes of what he could be.
Backed up in their zone, 2nd and 20 on their own 32. Trying to dig themselves into a hole a little bit. Let's see if they can get out of it. They'll hand it off to Ridge. Ridge finds a hole up the middle, but he's stopped about a yard or 2 short.
Now this is kind of a must stop here for the Prospect defense. You're at like a third and about 15, 16 or so.
Yeah, this is a crucial stop right here. Control the ball, add some more points,
and now you have Elk Grove punt, and you can take a chance to put up 2 scores.
Glaskill again in the shotgun. Looking to air it out deep. He's trying to run. The pocket collapses around him. And finally, great play by Jack Friedrichs, really chasing him down and getting that tackle.
There you go. Nice job for the Prospect defense, holding Joey Glaskill to just a couple. We know he's going to be outside the pocket a lot tonight. And a nice job by Jack Friedrichs and company to keep him down. And
they won't even try it on a 4th and 14. I don't think you even try for that split punt. You really just bring
don't even
go
for it. Just.
Tim Varga punting for Elk Grove.
Ooh.
Almost got a hand on it there.
It's a very slow receiving process to get the football as Dan DeBuff is in position to receive it.
Matt Neal will let that roll out of bounds, and the Knights will start over at the 35-yard line.
Looks like Prospect has an influx of return options as
well. Very true.
We've seen Nick Mariani return a couple kicks. Ryan Traviola returned a couple. I think Matt Meyer returned one a couple weeks ago. I think every Prospect wide receiver who has played in tonight's game has been a kick returner at least once.
That kind of goes to show the versatility that all of these Prospect wide receivers have, that DeBuff can trust them in returning punts. They've got that agility and that speed, that strength to try to be able to make plays like that.
Absolutely. Some good games going on. It's Rolling Meadows at Buffalo at Grand Blaney Stadium. It's 7-0.
Meadows trying to look to cap a perfect 9-0 regular season heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I would not be surprised one bit if they don't do that. Matt Mishler and that program, my goodness.
Elk Grove really the powerhouse right now to come out of the MSL East.
And that's still Hersey is still a wonderful football team as well, led by Joe Pardon. What a job he's done. We just thought Owen Goldsberry's gone. They're gone. Think again. They're going to repunt it. Must have been a penalty. They're going to repunt it here.
They will repunt it again. Good opportunity for the Knights to try to
give another chance. I think there's a new punter. Oh, hey now. That's a good punt.
Solid punt. Neal looked to have bobbled it. Elk Grove will return it. Sloppy pay by Matt Neal. And
that's huge.
Number 9, Dylan Elsner again. You know, a sloppy play from Neal, knowing that it was a short punt, knowing he had defenders run. Call it fair or just let it bounce.
It would have been a very low fair catch call from Matt Neal, but Owen, you just got to let go. I know Matt Neal, he'll try and find a way to get back from it, but you just got to let that one go.
I agree.
It was a pretty good punt, but
it was a good punt.
It's a good punt, and now Elk Grove has a chance to really grab this momentum.
They do.
Now, they've had some big plays here are special teams, that fumble just recently, that interception earlier, the trick play with Ian Ridge and company.
Now Glasskill again. First down now and deep in Knights territory after that botched punt. He'll look to throw it deep. Nowhere to go.
Hands lifted.
Hands lifted. That was senior Jack Hasmer throwing his hands up, obviously trying to show that he was not in any way interfering with the Elk Grove wide receiver.
Both guys, they look like they had contact on each other. Just got to let them play.
Just let them play.
Let them play, and I think that was a wonderful job there. Yeah, that might have been the first big shot we've seen from Joey Gaskill.
I think from both teams tonight it has been.
Well, you saw that the overthrow
there was,
from
yes,
Mariani.
the play with Mariani, yes.
Yeah, but this is the first big shot Elk Grove has tried to take, and it was just a little.
Glasskill again in the shotgun. Hand it off to Ridge. Ridge will cut up towards the middle.
And you wonder at the break, Connor, I think that Prospect's going to have to adjust. Maybe they were expecting Jansack, maybe they weren't. Who knows? But Elk Grove, I think, is going to need some variety in this offense.
I agree.
In that second half, we've seen a lot of short plays, screens, draws. Yeah, that's great that you're doing that. But you also got to vary it up. You got to continue to throw the ball in an intermediate range. And then also got to throw the ball down the field.
I agree. Glasskill again in the shotgun. He'll look to run it up the right. He'll find a hole up in the middle. Try to cut back. Couldn't get that, but it looks like he'll be very close to converting that first down.
It's going to be 4th down, so let's see if Miles Osei is going to pull the trigger here. I think he got him.
I think you do.
About a 43-yarder. Got a 40. Be about a 40-yarder from this point.
And they will keep Glasskill out there. He'll try to go for that 4th down. A big chance for the Knights here to stop him right here on downs.
Big chance for the Grenadiers to take some momentum. There he goes.
Ridge up the middle. He's definitely got it inside Prospect's red zone.
That's been the key. Prospect has got to find a way to stop these quick backs and quick quarterback of Elk Grove. That's going to be the biggest key in this heading into the first intermission.
Just under 5 minutes left to go in the first half. Let's jump around to some other MSL scores. In the first quarter, Hersey High School leads Wheeling 14-0, and Rolling Meadows is again up 7-0 over Buffalo Grove.
How about Barrington and Palatine? 14-0. Palatine has really struggled this year. Usually one of the best football programs.
Very true.
By Corey Olson, Joe Sanchez, and crew in Barrington. They've done such a great job.
And Glasskill again. He'll hand it off to Ridge. Ridge try to cut back up towards the middle. Get a yard or two.
They're finding the holes, and
I
think that deserves. I think a lot of credit goes to the Elk Grove offensive line. They have been providing holes. I think they've gotten some pressure on the quarterback, but that's obviously because they've taken more time.
Both offensive lines tonight have been really exceptional at their jobs.
This is a young Elk Grove offensive line.
It is.
So they've got some experience on it, but it's a pretty young unit. There's a lot to look forward to, I think, with Miles Osei leading the charge here.
Things look to turn around soon for this Elk Grove team.
And Miles would like to use a timeout. But I think when we saw it earlier, he's trying to build the E here. He is trying to build the E.
What do you mean by that?
So Elk Grove football has had they've had a couple good seasons the past couple years. I'm not sure if you know. But a couple years ago, Chuck Fleming came on this field and just ran all over here.
Both teams look to try to recuperate. The Knights are trying desperately to stop Elk Grove, deep in their own territory. Just under 4 minutes to go in the first half. I'm Connor Graver alongside with Wyatt Juchek. Prospect Knights lead 10 over the Elk Grove Grenadiers 7. Prospects looking to win the night to achieve playoff eligibility, something they haven't achieved since they made the playoffs last in 2012.
Connor, can you name the quarterback of that last team who made the playoffs in 2012?
That'd be head coach right now of the Elk Grove Grenadiers, Milo Say.
No.
It wasn't?
Incorrect.
Ah, who was it then?
Devin O'Hara.
There we go. My mistake.
Their family of brothers is now over with Matt Mishler and company at Rolling Meadows. And what a job they've done. Asher, the quarterback a couple of years back. Jason now a running back for and defense.
Ridge up the middle, down to the 1 or 2 yard line.
I think he's going to get the first down, so that's going to make it a first and goal. Now they get four more chances to get into the end zone. 3:48 left, so now you're going to have to see the up-tempo offense here from Dan DeBuff.
I think so. They'll get the ball back. Have around 2 minutes, really run that 2-minute drill and try to get some more points on the board.
I think the biggest key is going to be which defense is going to be able to stop the playmakers on both sides.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little bit like a shootout so far. And Ridge will cut up the middle.
He's in.
That's his second rushing touchdown of the day for Ian Ridge. Great play.
He's got his second touchdown. I don't think if you asked him, I don't think he would have said, hey, I would have had one throwing touchdown and one rushing touchdown.
No, I agree.
Don't think he would have asked. I don't think he would have answered that way. But Ridge has had one heck of a start to the football game. And so has the Elk Grove Grenadiers offense. My goodness, they have played very well to start the game.
Back now to kick the extra point for Elk Grove with Vinny Foncino as the holder. It's up and it's good. Elk Grove takes the lead 14-10, 3 minutes and 26 seconds to go here in this first half at George Gaddis.
And if you want to know about Coach DeBuff's former team, Johnsburg, they're down to Richmond Burton, 7-0 over in Richmond Burton. Fenton in Bensonville, they're up 7-6 against Chicago Christian. Surprised here in the first half from the aggression of the Elk Grove offense?
I'm not surprised by the aggression. I'm surprised how much it's worked so far. I think Prospects defense really needs to step up, fix some of these mistakes that they're making if they want to try to keep that playoff eligibility.
They're going to need to have to be aggressive.
I agree.
And I think the interception from Brian Doherty, obviously that's not great. Obviously, of course, it ended in an interception, but obviously you've got to keep being that aggressive though.
I agree.
Because this is it. This is your last chance to show what you're made of on this football field. And let's hope we have a game next week.
Back again deep.
Obviously, stay tuned for the bracket reveal on NBC Sports Chicago tomorrow night.
Booming kick. And Marks again will just let it fall right behind them. That'll be another touchback for the Knights. They'll start again on the 20-yard line.
3:26 left. I think you got to go for it here.
I do too. This is a very, very important time.
Now, if you just give the ball back if you just stall here on this drive, you could give Elk Grove the chance to be up 11 points to start the second half.
Which is not something you want to be facing in a game like this.
I don't think Dan DeBuff wants to be in the case of what Wheeling did last week. They were down late, and Michael Best just found ways to keep that team in it.
Martin will air it out deep now. He's got Mariani up the right side, a little overthrown. Traviola on the right side, my mistake.
Actually, that might have been Matt Neal, number 13.
Third time's a charm, Matt Neal.
There we go. That's all right, Connor. I got you. That ball's about 5 yards overthrown there from Jimmy. I think he's got to connect on that deep ball.
He does.
And also, you also got to be careful because that could have been a pick too.
Very dangerous too. But I think that's a risk. That's a risk that comes with every deep pass you take. Now we see Shaffis up the left side, trying to fight for some yards. Only get 2 or 3. Big third down here for the Knights now.
This is huge. I think we don't want Elk Grove and their very quick offense to get the ball back here as well. Looked like he had Doherty on a slant.
Right out of Neal's hands. Great play by Martin, though,
Great
throwing off his back foot, trying to keep that play alive.
Great coverage there from Vinny Fasciano, and Jimmy does a pretty good throw, just maybe a teensy bit over his head. But a nice job there from the Grenadiers defense, and they're going to hold Prospect, and they could be up 21-10
in the first half.
End the first half, and they're going to get the football to start the second half.
Very, very important drive coming up here for the Prospect Knights defense.
And you wonder if Dan DeBuff's going to use more of his timeouts here on this drive. That's a good punt.
Great punt from Chaffis. Great punt.
You needed a punt like that in a situation like that.
That's what they needed. And we get a little applause from the side, recognizing how great of a punt. That was exactly what you needed in that moment right there.
Let's hope that's not Michael Chaffis' last good punt of his high school career. He has really done everything for this football program.
He's been the Swiss Army knife of this Prospect
Hey, that's what I call
football
Noah
team.
Marks.
Noah Marks. Well, Chaffis has really just been used offense, defense, special teams. He's been so crucial.
He's done everything.
He's
been a great leader on the offensive side of the ball, playing running back, having those huge games. It seems like he has 134 yards and 2 touchdowns every time he's at George Gaddis. Then he's been a big key in that linebacking core. Been a big leader along with Michael Sema, Adam Mecki and crew. And of course, he's been a really, really good punter. And I'll tell you the one play that stood out for me as he's punting is, there's Gaskill, and he incomplete, a little wide, intended for Fasciano. But I think one play that really stood out to me when Michael Chaffis was a punter was against Niles North. That snap was low, and he picked it up and took it for like 50 yards.
Yeah, that's just, the versatility shows he's got such a great awareness of what's going on in the field that he can make a play like that.
He's got such great versatility, and also has got such great speed for a guy at like 6'1", 6'2".
Absolutely.
And it just gives him such an advantage over most running backs.
Gaskill again in the shotgun.
As well as most linebackers too. Fumbled the snap there, Connor.
Ooh, the ball. Oh, very, very dangerously close to being a turnover for the Knights, but the pass was dropped, called an incomplete pass.
If you just don't take an extra step there, and I think he knew it, just drop the football.
Very true, very true.
I know you don't want to drop the football, but in that case, it's a fumble against an incomplete pass. Just drop the football.
Gaskill again on this 3rd and 10.
Pressure coming from Mecki. Oh, he lost football.
He drops the football. He's able to pick it up himself, but he'll be stopped right there by Jack Friedrichs.
That's his second straight trouble with the football there. Talked about the little fumble hold there from Gaskill. Now he's had trouble with the football, and a big, big stop there for the Prospect defense. That's huge.
Great job still by Jack Friedrichs and Michael Chaffis, not giving up on that tackle, not overreacting to seeing that the ball was out, and continuing to chase down the runner.
Absolutely, and I think a timeout was called by Dan DeBuff. They're trying to get something going with 2:15 left. They want to go into the halftime with either 17 or 13.
And I think that's exactly what you have to do in this scenario. You've been given you had a great stop. Really didn't take too much time off the clock. You need to treat this like a fourth quarter scenario.
I think you got to treat every situation in this football game like a fourth quarter scenario, because this is the fourth quarter of all football games.
Very true.
Even though they have had 5 home games this year, this is it. This is your fourth quarter. Every play matters. Every snap matters. 6 seconds at a time is what Dan DeBuff told us on Prospect Football Weekly, and I think that's what he's going with here now.
Special for us too. This is our last home game too. What are you feeling, Wyatt? You feeling upset yet, or you still feeling good?
There's a lot of football game left, Connor.
Very true. We'll keep it at that.
Tell me in the fourth quarter.
All right.
Then I'll let you know. Usually you don't see an offensive lineman, it looks like, punt the football. I find that awesome. Oh, he's got to be careful.
Somebody got a hand on it, but anyway, a great, huge break for the Knights.
Elk Grove special teams, they got to fix that.
They really do.
They've hesitated when about to take the punt. He takes, it looks like a step back.
He does.
And then he punts it away. That's probably going to be the quickest way that a block is going to happen.
Especially in a punt, you need every second that you're able to get to try to get the ball out of your zone. And
he actually took an extra step forward.
I think he did.
So he took a step he didn't really need, but I guess you get the power out of that, but also at the same time you also slow the punt.
Now Martin in Elk Grove territory will hand it off to Chaffis. Chaffis will cut back up towards the left. 4 or 5 yards with the forward progress. The Knights running that hurry-up offense with just under 2 minutes to go in this first half, trying to get some points on the board.
Absolutely, you're going to need a run. I think at the end you're going to use Michael Sheffs just to run him down. Because he is such a tough guy to tackle. There goes Jimmy.
Martin up the left, trying to cut back. He'll get a first down and more. Tripped up, but a great run from Jimmy Martin. Prospect now knocking on Elk Grove's red zone. Let's see if they can convert.
Absolutely, what a great job there from Jimmy Martin. Another great job from the Prospect offensive line. They're giving him time to run outside the pocket and do what Jimmy does best, run the football.
Jimmy again, aired out to Matt Meyer. Meyer should be 7 or 8 yards that forward progress, and we've seen, you know, a nice change from this Prospect offense, really getting some plays going.
Get plays going, and I think Miles will say has no choice but just let this clock keep going.
I agree.
Because even then, Jimmy's going to go up the line. They're going to sneak it up. I think someone jumped for Prospect, so I don't think this play's going to count.
We'll see what the flag is.
I think it's going to be a false start called against Prospect.
Will be a false start.
I'm 2 for 2 on penalties today.
There you go. A little bit of a setback, but still, got to keep this momentum going, trying to get those points before the end of the first half.
Maybe you take a shot here. I mean, you know, it's a second. It's about a 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. Maybe you take a shot down the field. You have a guy like Matt Meyer, 6'1". He's a big kid. We'll see if he takes a shot down. Maybe not. Or they go to Shaffis and try and just drag Elk Grove out.
Martin and Sheff is now getting the play call. Martin calling an audible. He's in the shotgun, hands it off to Sheff. Oh, it's keeping himself, excuse me. Up the middle, should be 6 or 7. You know it's a good fake when it fakes out the announcers. That's what I've always said.
There you go, look at that. Yeah, but that was a good read there from Jimmy. He did it very late.
He did.
And because he knew there was someone coming right at Shaffison, and he took it himself, got a couple yards out of it instead of getting back to the line of scrimmage maybe at best.
Quick throw, couldn't convert. Martin looking for Matt Meyer right there, trying to get those quick yards. Now 4th down for the Knights.
Good coverage there from Mark Matos. I think you just got to, you're going to be aggressive here.
Very bold move. Either can pay off big or it could really,
are you going to be aggressive here? Or the wind is blowing at the back, so we'll see if this is going to pay off for Prospect. I like the aggressiveness, so you're hearing from Coach DeBuff and Matt Weber.
Trying to get Elk Grove to jump off sides
I
right here.
don't think they're going to. I guess we're surprised.
Martin in the shotgun, roll to the right, feeling the pressure.
He's going to be brought down.
He'll be brought down.
Jimmy's looking for something, and the Prospect is really upset with the officials.
I don't know if there was too much of a call right there. I think that was the right call on there. He had a little bit of contact, but not enough to run a horse collar.
He's asking for. Let's see if he was really tackled by the horse collar. I don't think he was tackled by the horse collar. Not real. I don't.
I think it was the right call by the officials. It was a tough call, but the right call.
Yeah, but I think you got to go for points there.
I agree.
I mean, I like the aggressiveness, and I think Elk Grove's just going to take a knee. I think they should.
That's a smart play.
They're going to get the football to start the second half.
There's no need to take that risk. They will
Absolutely.
take a knee.
Take a knee, head into the half, and what a first half for the Elk Grove Grenadiers offense.
Has been a very exciting first half for both sides, too. We've seen some great offensive plays and some good defensive plays, too. And I think what's most important for the Knights is to try to keep that tempo going and keep, try to get back in control of this game.
There is a lot to fix in the second half for Prospect. I think it starts with you got to stop their quarterback.
I agree.
As well as their running attack with Ian Ridge and Joey Gaskill. You got to stop them and find ways.
It's all right there for Prospect. In this next 24 minutes, they really got to take a look at themselves
and see
season.
What are we
going
to be?
This is their season.
Where are we going to be a playoff team 24 minutes from now?
And we'll send it down now to our sideline reporter, Tia Sadlon, who will be interviewing head coach Dan DeBuff live. We'll see you next half.
Here, Tia, stand right there. Nice, that's much better.
Buffalo Wild Wings is the place to bring the whole family for a great night out. We're nearby in Mount Prospect with specials all week long. Enjoy 65-cent boneless wings on boneless Thursdays and Mondays. Get half-priced wings on Tuesdays. And stop by on Wednesdays for 99-cent chicken tenders and $1.49 kids meals. Sign up for our free Plays and Rewards loyalty program. Earn points, get rewards. It's more of what you love for what you already love to do. It's all here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Prospect.
All right, so Elk Grove has some really quick athletes on their team. How is our defense going to be able to slow them down in the second half?
I think our defense is doing a really good job, with the exception of our little muffed punt there. I think our defense has done a really good job battling through some tough situations.
And so the pace of the game really picked up in the second quarter. Is that going to maintain throughout the rest of the game?
Yeah, I think we're going to try to pick up the tempo. They got a lot of guys going both ways, and we think that they're going to grind down here in the second half.
So when you tire them out, are you going to focus more on running or passing, do you think?
I think we're going to do both. We're going to keep taking what they give us, and we'll see what happens.
All right, great. Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
welcome you back to George Gaddis Memorial Stadium, where we are underway in the third quarter here in our game against Prospect and Elk Grove. Wyatt, what do you think is most important for Prospect that they need to take from the first half, use in the second half?
Find ways to execute is going to be the key. Elk Grove has been just they've played really well, and Ian Ridge is just showing why he's really well.
Wow, Ian Ridge shot up the middle.
Hello.
13-yard run. What a play up to the 42-yard line.
The defense has got to step up here. They got to tackle. They got to find ways to put pressure on the quarterback for Elk Grove, and they got to put him on also the running backs for Elk Grove. The very quick and speedy Elk Grove offense. Joey Gaskill and Ian Ridge have just killed Prospect's defense
They
today.
have so far. Gaskill looked again to take his second snap of the second half in the shotgun. Clock running. He'll hand it off to Ridge again. Ridge will cut up the right side, gets a couple of blocks, and he'd like to go to show too. Elk Grove's offensive line tonight has done a fantastic job of giving Ridge and Gaskill opportunities to run the ball.
And I think it's going to be the defenses at the end of the night. Whose defense is going to make the big stop late and hold their team to either a 2-7 record to close out the year or a playoff eligibility spot for the Prospect Knights, in order to wait until tomorrow night to see who they're going to who they would face in round one of the state playoffs. They're likely going to be a very good football team in almost all certainty.
I agree.
And it'll be on the road.
As Ridge will take it up again, he is on fire to start this second half. Really, pushing this Elk Grove defense for it, this offense, for it. And I think for Prospect, making the playoffs really, following through on that goal you set yourself at the beginning of the season would be an accomplishment enough for this team.
Great, but Connor, we're down 14. The Knights are down 14-10. You can't talk about the playoffs when you're down 14-10.
Very true.
You got to focus on this football game. You have to focus on just get one stop at a time, one play at a time.
A botch snap from Gaskill. He'll just have to fall. Wow, Jack Friedrichs.
That's the third time that Gaskill's had trouble with the snap. He had a couple in that second quarter. So he's got to find ways to hold on to the football.
Good break for the Knights. Let's see if they can capitalize on that botched play from Gaskill.
And now on the offensive side of the football, let's see what Elk Grove is willing to do deep down the field. Where they are willing to throw it. How far are they willing to throw it? Prospect has two safeties back in this defensive formation here. They almost jumped, but
able to catch themselves there. A lucky break for the Knights.
It's like Zach Zai is at the bottom of your screen. Number 11. He's a big, tall guy. He's going to play back in safety. Watch for a screen to Ridge. It's a forward pass.
Forward pass, incomplete. We saw Theo Raduvic really running after that ball. He thought it could have been a fumble there.
Absolutely.
Now an important 3rd and 19 here for Prospect to try to stifle them on Elk Grove's opening drive. I know we talked about how important that opening drive stop was, but if they can get a stop here, very, very key.
Looks like Adam Mecke on that last
Excuse
play.
me, that was Mecke. You're right.
But a good job there from the Prospect defense. Now you're going to you would think Elk Grove would maybe throw the football here.
Schaff has almost jumped off sides off there. He's able to save it at the last second.
They got to keep their footwork. Penalties cannot be a key for Prospect in order to win this football game.
Schaff is cutting through the outside, and they're able to get there.
They got to be. Prospect's got to be careful. I mean,
Liam Mikes, great job fighting through that offensive line.
Great pressure from Prospect, but it was a little. But you got to be careful. These a little late hit. They had him for a while, but you just got to be careful with the penalties. Now there's another Knight punt return. That's Ryan Traviola. It seems like
we've seen a lot, like we said, those punt returners tonight.
There have been a lot of them
Prospects used
this year. Seems like every one of their wide receivers has been able to have some punt return success. And now this is going to be a must. This might be a must-score drive for the Prospect Knights just to get some of that momentum back. That's a high punt.
High punt. This Elk Grove special team has really killed them tonight.
They get a nice bounce, or a bounce enough, but they're taking an extra, probably about second, to get that football off.
And that's really helping. Because that extra second allows the defense to come a little bit closer. That creates so much more pressure.
And that's what Tim Beischer is sending at this Elk Grove. That he is sending pressure all over that punt unit. They know if they get that extra second, boom, it could be blocked right away.
Martin in the shotgun, his first snap of this second half. looks back for the right play.
Going to have to be aggressive here in the second half for Jimmy and company.
I expect a pretty aggressive drive from the Knights to try to gain control of this game.
You would expect nothing less.
Luke Zardzin breaking through. What a great, that's the run they needed. A great 20-yard run right there from Luke Zardzin, breaking through the hole.
Saw a lot of Shafis at the end of that second quarter. Now you're bringing in Zardzin, a little new style. Plug him in, and there you go. Nice start for the Knights offense.
Good start. Got to capitalize, though. It's one thing to get these drives, but you got to get points on the board.
Have to execute on drives like these.
We'll try to go with Zardzin again. He'll get about 2 or 3 yards this time.
And that. And that offensive line for Elk Grove really, they had that one issue.
Martin again will take it up the right side. He'll look to try to get a hole. He cuts back towards the middle, and he's into Elk Grove's red zone. Great read by Martin, seeing where the hole was, and being able to quickly turn.
And now Connor in the red zone. They're going to bring in Shafis here. Now they're bringing in Michael Shafis. He's been their red zone back for the Knights all year. Let's see if they're going to use him here.
Michael Shafis up the middle, fighting for those yards, and I think the best example you can take that against the first game of the year against St. Viator, bringing him to those red zone drives. He had 3 touchdowns in that game, and they were all close in the red zone kind of drives because he's just that determined runner. Martin will line up in the shotgun now. He'll look to hand it off to Shafis. Shafis cuts right, tries to fight for those extra plays. Diving for the goal line, he'll be inside the 5.
It's going to be very close to a first down as well, and there's an Elk Grove Grenadier down.
Very, very key drive for the Knights right here as they're knocking on Elk Grove's doorstep. Let's see if they can convert. Martin up to Shafis. He'll cut up to the middle. Score! Prospect regains the lead.
That's the score they needed.
Great run by Zardzin and Shafis. That offensive line creating those holes. Flawless drive from the Knights.
Use Zardzin to start the drive off and then use Shafis to run him down. That is exactly what the Prospect Knights did. This is interesting. They have 2 guys near the... This is an interesting formation here. They have Luke Zardzin. It looks like Ryan Traviola to the right side up. I think they're going to switch it up.
We've seen that a couple of times now where they'll try to show that trick play maybe they're looking for that right scheme from Elk Grove. They haven't seen it quite yet, and they go back into the extra point formation.
Absolutely. A lot of their wide receivers are blockers here. It's an interesting formation. We'll see if they're...
Santangelo right down the middle. He is 2 for 2 on extra points tonight and 1 for 1 on his field goals tonight. A perfect night for Santangelo, extending Prospect's lead 17-14, 7 minutes to go in this third quarter.
Well, I think that's the drive Prospect needed.
That's what they needed.
That's what they just had to find a way to get on the board, get some momentum back, and I think they've done that. Now it's time for Elk Grove's offense to respond. They've been so good tonight in terms of aggression and as well as executing on offense.
I agree.
It's time for them to show what they're made of here in this big special game, but I don't think there'd be anything better for Miles Osei and his coaching staff. Miles Osei, a Prospect alum, to come into Prospect High School and ruin the chances of making the playoffs.
I agree.
For his alma mater and a team that had so much excitement to start the year. I don't think it would be any sweeter for him than to send Prospect home 4-5.
I agree. Looks like Elk Grove will keep Ridge and Manos back deep for this Santangelo kick.
Always expect the unexpected here on kickoffs. We saw Prospect have an onside kick a couple weeks ago. Be careful.
And they'll keep it the same. A nice booming kick from Santangelo right around the 10-yard line. And a good return up to around the 22, and that's where Elk Grove will start their second drive of this second half.
Good job by the special teams unit led by Tim Beischer.
Special teams units for Prospect has played
they've been
pretty
great
well
all year.
so far.
They've been great all year.
Great all year, absolutely, and they've played a very solid game tonight.
A lot of blocked kicks here on the extra points, especially this season. So it's been a great season for the special teams unit. Let's hope it gets extended one more game.
Led by a great coach in Tim Beischer as well. He's really done a great job with this group.
Done a wonderful job with both the special teams unit as well as the offensive line, and we have some more score updates. How about a 41-0 lead for Hersey at halftime?
Wow. Wow, Hersey really exploded with that lead.
They were really upset last week after a heartbreaker against Rolling Meadows.
Ridge will cut up the middle again. He's been really, the dynamic piece for this Elk Grove offense. Has really been pushing them forward the entire game.
Yeah, good tackle there from Michael Shafis, wrapping him up. wrapping them up, trying to keep them from getting those big 6, 7-yard gains. Only getting them to about maybe like those big 7, 8-yard gains. He got 6 on the play.
Another score in the MSL East as well. Rolling Meadows up on Buffalo Grove, 14-0 at the half.
Buffalo Grove is like one of those teams that is a very good defense as well.
Ridge will be able to cut to the outside, fight for those extra yards. Should be around up to Prospect's 39 or so. Great run by Ridge.
Good hit there from the Prospect defense. Another great run there from Ian Ridge. 28-7 to Barrington over the Pirates of Palatine. Palatine's has had a pretty good advantage over in that series the past couple years, even with Barrington's immense success under head coach Joe Sanchez.
Ridge so far 6 rushes for 73 yards. He's had a great performance tonight.
Outback player of the game candidate, maybe?
I don't know. We'll see. Ridge will take it for his 12th run of the game. Should get 2 or 3 yards on the play.
So you hear a slam from the ceiling of the Prospect press box. Well, I think balanced is a good word to describe the Prospect running game. How about Michael Schaffis, 11 carries, 63 yards and a touchdown. Luke Zardzin, 8 carries, 40 yards. Jimmy Martin is 14 and 71. So a very good job by all aspects of the running attack, from the quarterbacks to the two main running backs in Schaffis and Zardzin.
I think it's a great strength that Prospect's offense has, that if you stop Schaffis, you've still got Zardzin and Martin to go rely on, that they've got 3 solid players that they can really trust to be their primary, rushing game.
And we also haven't talked about Noah Marks, who can line up in the slot receiver and do basically anything they ask him to do.
Very true. Ridge will try to run up the middle again. Won't have too much luck this time, and a big 3rd down and 5 now for the
Great
Knights.
job by the Prospect defensive line. They're not providing any hole there for Ian Ridge to run through. And that's another big one there for the Prospect. And now I think you might see a pass here coming from Gaskill.
You can feel the energy a little bit shifting in George Gaddis. People are starting to get a little more enthusiastic now. Then that Prospect sort of turned around and really controlled the second half so far.
That last drive was huge for the Prospect Knights. It just seemed like everything was going their way on that last drive. Watch out.
Wow. Great tackle by Michael Schaffis, beating his blocker, following his man, getting Gaskill on the tackle.
Michael Schaffis just said hello to a sophomore right there.
He did.
I think he introduced himself in the perfect way. Hey, I've been here 3 years. That's not going to work.
No.
Now I think they might be going for it. Or we'll see. Maybe a pooch kick. We'll see.
Kazmer's back deep if it is a kick. This is another punt return.
It's going to be a pooch here.
Tonight.
Yep. Here it comes. That might be their best punt all night.
Kazmer, fair catch.
Got to be
Smart
careful
play.
there.
A little better than we saw. We saw Matthew Neal when he had the botched kick. It's smart by Kazmer just to call the fair play, get where the ball is.
You
don't try to create any problems.
You don't have to worry about anybody touching you.
There you go. Now Martin will look to extend this Knights lead. If they can get it up by 2 scores, that could really shift the tide in this game.
I don't think it would really shift the tide. It is going to shift the tide. And there goes
Zardzin up the middle for a couple of yards. Prospect's run game so far has been really the highlight of this offense.
Absolutely, and I think this running attack as well, the offensive line, the run blocking from guys like Mitch Camp, Drew Turtel, Eric Malinowski.
It's been incredible so far.
Gary Gilmer as well. Just great effort from this Prospect offensive line. They've done fantastic here today.
Short 3rd and 1 now for the Knights. We'll see if they can convert on this as time winds down in the 3rd quarter.
And Jimmy almost fumbled the football. I think he did fumble the football.
I think he did, but it's looking like he was able to recover himself. So
actually, that wasn't Jimmy. Didn't look like that was Jimmy lost the football. I think it might have been.
Fumbled the snap, but he was
Jimmy.
able to recover and keep his composure.
He went up tempo here, and he just dropped the football.
I think Zardzin, he dove for it, and I think he'll get it. Great play by Zardzin, getting tripped up in the back, but able to fight for that extra yard. Huge play for the Knights.
That was a great effort there from Izzo for Elk Grove, but just enough for Luke Zardzin. And that was an interesting call there from DeBuff.
Zardzin up the middle now.
That will not go anywhere.
He'll be traced down by number 56, Devon Tillman. Nowhere to go there. Second down now. We'll see this. We also see this up-tempo offense still that's starting to wear out.
Using a lot of clock here too.
Absolutely.
Using a lot of clock. 3:29 left here in the third quarter.
Martin up the middle. He finds himself a hole. Be able to fight for that first down. Great rush by Jimmy Martin.
Now they're going to go up straight to the line again.
Like we've talked about before, that up tempo, the more and more it just wears you down as a defense.
It's just quick. And that's something that the Knights really never used last
No.
year. They never used a quick up-tempo offense unless it was late in the game.
Zardzen gets another little bit of hole. He's able to sneak those 6-7 yards. And you look, he's able to sneak those 7 yards, and Elk Grove's defense isn't really set yet. They're still recovering from the last play, getting back to the line of scrimmage.
And I think that you got to call a timeout maybe on an occasion where.
I agree.
But maybe they're just trying to waste their timeouts, which are so key, as Jimmy's going to get a couple.
Be a close short at 3rd and short. But yeah, now Elk Grove comes into the question: do you waste your timeouts now to give your chance for a defense to breathe, or do you save those in case it gets down late in the game and you really need those timeouts?
I know Prospect has been having successful running the football. Maybe go for a shot down the field here.
Jimmy will take himself up the right side. He'll be able to get another hole, another first down.
I guess you could run down the field too. That works as well.
You know, we saw a good start from this Prospect offense, but towards the second quarter they kind of tailed off a little bit.
Going.
Night and day compared to the third quarter team and the second quarter team that we've seen.
And Elk Grove needs to call timeout. I don't blame them one bit.
No, those last 4 or 5 plays, they were just getting gassed because it's just play after play after play.
And you also have a lot of guys playing a couple ways there for Elk Grove. A couple guys, and I think Miles Osei is upset with something. But yeah, they're just making Elk Grove work just to get back to the line of scrimmage, and then they run a play, and it's going to be a gain of 6, 7, 8 yards there. And it's Prospect's getting excited.
During this timeout now, we'd like to take a chance to thank our sponsors, Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Prospect, as well as Outback Steakhouse in Mount Prospect, both very big members of our team, and we're really grateful for their support too. And we'd like to thank our viewers for tuning in. Currently, we have 108 of you watching at home. Really great things. Really glad you give us the chance to tune in, watch us work, and we hope that you enjoy the product we've been giving you.
And if you want to ask a question on the chat, please do that. We'd love to answer your questions.
And we'll see Martin now set up in the shotgun right on the 20-yard line, right at the start of the red zone. Hands it off to Zardzen. Zardzen able to fight up the middle. Down to the 12, gain of 6. Great play by the Knights.
Absolutely, they're just finding ways to just keep going here. Keep using that running attack to their advantage, and it has really helped. Oh, wow. That was a good hit there.
That was a good hit right
from
there.
the Elk Grove defense, and Martin ends up on his knees. They went low, and nice tackler from Josh Bilodeau.
You look, you take.
Do you go deep down? Do you go down the field here?
I think you do in this case. I think, you know.
Four wide set here for DeBuff.
Almost had Elk Grove's defensive line jumping off sides. Jimmy gives an audible, and he'll take the snap in the shotgun. He'll look to pass a screen.
That's not going to help.
Up to Neal.
Yeah,
that'll force a fourth down now.
Time.
You think field goal now? You don't go for it in this case?
I don't think so. I don't think DeBuff's going to listen to me. I don't.
He's taking those risks.
Or
those
you
risks
just try and
so
jump
far.
him offside, but those screen plays on a third down and probably a medium size, I think you'd throw the ball there.
Yeah, I don't
Throw
know.
the ball a little farther. Maybe they're just going to try and draw him off sides. Those timeouts are critical in a game like this. Interesting movement there from the wide receiver, the Prospect. They almost jumped.
Almost jumped them there. They're getting close.
They're going to call a timeout.
And we'll call a timeout.
You consider that wasting a timeout?
In this case, no, I don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, 58.4 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Yeah, but those timeouts are like water.
That's true.
You gotta save them until the very end.
That's true.
End of the football game. If you need to stop it, you have it. Now you have one less time to stop the clock, get a sip of water, and find ways to improve.
That's true. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see later on the game if we do get down to a very tight scenario. If
Maybe that timeout
will cost them. We'll see.
We will see. It should be a fun one either way.
Now a very interesting call. They're still out there to go for it. Martin lining up in the shotgun again. A very surprising call. I would assume if you take a timeout,
why would
you
you
would send the field goal unit out.
Send the kicking unit out, but
we'll see.
They must know something we don't.
Very true. Martin's got 3 wide receivers lined up. So, excuse me, 2 in the slot. He's got himself in the backfield along with Michael Shaffis.
There we go.
And
That's a QB draw.
A run to the right. And Martin will sneak up the middle. Looks like he'll have enough.
He's got it.
I think he does. So, an interesting call from
They go
Prospect.
QB draw on a 4th down and about.
Then it kind of raises the question, what was the point of that timeout then? But, well, time will tell. But Prospect has the ball deep inside Elk Grove zone. Jimmy Martin will run it up the middle.
And I don't think that play is going to count.
From Andrew Clausen, jumped on top of him with the tackle. Great play right there.
And they're going to be moving back, so it's an even better play there from the Elk Grove defense, drawing a penalty. It's going to send the Knights back, a holding call there.
And that flag will set Prospect back to the 20-yard line, so it'll be 1st and goal for the 20, on the 20 for the Knights. Just under a minute remaining in this 3rd quarter. Prospect is up 17-14, looking to add more.
They are and
Sheffis will break outside, he'll find those extra yards.
he is
Such a great competitor.
he's so good at getting to the outside and just finding lanes.
It's that football IQ, seeing, he doesn't see an option right here, then he's able to look to his right or to his left, find those lanes.
He's not going to be like one of those guys just takes and just goes and
No.
bolts off. He's going to take some time, look at his reads, look at the options he has going, and he's just going to go right at the option that he finds the most
That's what
open.
makes him such a great player. And they'll give it off to Sheffis again. I'll try to run to the outside again, maybe get a yard or two.
They were preparing for that one for Elk Grove. And they're going to switch sides, end of the quarter. A very good 3rd quarter for Prospect.
And you can feel the energy here. 12 minutes remain in Prospect's regular season. They're up by 3. If they can keep this lead, they'll go to 5-4, have playoff eligibility.
And we have a question from head varsity boys basketball coach John Caradella. Great. Do we know what the tiebreaker is for teams that finish 5-4?
You want to take this one, Wyatt?
Yes, I will take this one. So there are going to be 5-4 teams that are going to make the cut, and it's based on playoff points. Playoff points. Right now, I think the Knights have 36 playoff points, and you get those points based on, I think, the wins your opponents get.
Okay.
As well. So I think like if not Deerfield wins tonight, which isn't looking great so far, as Maine West has been playing a very good football game. So it's on playoff points, and playoff points determine who is going to make the playoffs.
So Prospect is pretty confident with their playoff points. We've heard around, there's 75 to a 90% chance they could gain some more tonight. It's looking good if the Knights are able to go to 5-4, but again, not guaranteed.
But if you're a 6-3 football team, you are in the playoffs.
You are in the playoffs.
That's for the 5-4 teams. It's on playoff points.
Now Martin will get the call, knocking an Elk Grove doorstep again, trying to extend this lead.
Who knows with playoff points? You just don't know.
Martin will try to cut back to the inside, nowhere really to go.
Take the points. Take the points, I think.
Take those points.
Take the points. And I think that's what Dan DeBuff's going to do. I do not blame him one bit.
No, neither do I.
Get points.
Get points.
As another slam from the Prospect press box. They are not happy with that offensive play call.
Santangelo will look to go 2 for 2 tonight on his field goal attempts. He's so far been perfect. Let's see if he can continue it.
The wind is going to be this time toward him. It's not going to be at his back like the last time. Be careful.
The snap, the hold. Kick, and it's good. Santangelo remains perfect on the night as the Knights extend their lead 20-14 with just over 11 minutes remaining in this last regular season game.
Absolutely, and I think that was a good drive for the Knights just to end up with points.
I agree.
Because you put your defense, good job by the defense keeping Elk Grove off the scoreboard here. Now gives you a chance to keep it going, but we'll see. 11-13 left. I mean, that's a lot of time left.
Very true. A lot could happen in that, but I think Prospects really made a great turnaround this second half, really controlling this game.
And also, Elk Grove could use a lot of their running plays that they've had so much success with in that first half. They could chew up a lot of clock.
They could.
And remember, this is still a 6-point game.
That's true.
They can score the touchdown, take the lead. 1 point. Boom.
Tensions are high here in George Gaddis' Prospect will look to get playoff eligibility for the first time since 2012. As Santangelo will send it deep. He'll have Ridge and Mehouse back deep for Elk Grove to try to return this kick. Let's see if Prospect's special teams can continue their success they've had tonight.
And remember that punt, the punt that there was a callback penalty that could have never happened.
Great line drive kick from Santangelo. Sorry to cut you off there. Ridge will take it up the right side, a little bit past the 20-yard line, and that's where Elk Grove will take over.
Well, I'll cut back on. So that punt could have never happened. That was a penalty that was accepted by Dan DeBuff. He wanted them to re-kick it instead of having the ball about where Matt Neal got the ball eventually. So that is a game-changing moment of this football game.
I agree.
And right now it's been in right at the time it was in the favor of Elk Grove because they got the football back. But right now Prospect has the momentum here so far.
Has the momentum of offense. Let's see if it can translate back into defense again and really take a stranglehold
Good
to this
stop
game.
last time.
Need another stop again.
Yep. See what Gaskill does here.
Gaskill in the shotgun. He will hand it off to Ridge. Ridge will try to go up the middle. Not too much there for him.
What is Elk Grove? Elk Grove could use their aggression here.
They could.
This is a young team. This is a young football team. I think it would give them the utmost confidence in the world to send this team home 4-5.
It's a great way to send off your season.
It's a great way to end your season.
Ruining Prospects' playoff hopes and, really springboarding into next season, which could be a very talented team.
This could be they're a much more experienced team. And Miles.
Gaskill picked up. That'll be picked off by Gary Muller. Gary Muller will turn it inside the 10. What a play.
Seems like every home game he always has an interception.
Honestly, Gary Muller, when the lights shine bright here at George Gaddis, he shows up.
There's a flag late. I think that's going to be called for something.
Could be a flag.
I think it's going to be at the end of the return, but Prospect's got to calm down.
Wow.
I know you're excited, but you
Great play by Gary Muller. We saw it against St. Viator. We see it now. Great plays.
St. Viator, Niles North. Seems like every week he finds ways to make something happen. There's a flag. Let's see what the call is. I think it's going to be after the end of the return, so it looks like Prospect is going to keep the football.
See what the
likely
referees
going to be
say.
an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. It's an illegal block in the back. It's going to be at the end of the return, so Prospect's going to keep the football.
We'll be
That's
able to
big.
keep the football. That is very big. Huge, huge play for Prospect to be able to get now the ball in their own zone. Really, end that Elk Grove drive, and if they can capitalize here, they can take a 2-score lead.
Absolutely, but if you're Elk Grove, you got to catch that football.
You really do.
That could send Prospect to the playoffs.
I've brought it up now. Those live balls, those tip balls are so dangerous, as we've seen.
Now Jimmy's got to keep the football.
Rolling to the
Can't
right.
do that. No, actually, that was
throw it away.
Good, smart move. It's going to be called for grounding. He did not go out of the passing lane.
He did not.
And that's going to be a good call. They're pointing at the line of scrimmage, but that doesn't matter.
Smart play.
It's going to be a grounding call because he didn't get out of the pocket. He was never out of the passing lane.
That's the right. It's a tough call.
And it's also a loss of down too. You're not only are you moving back, but you also lose a down.
Which really, really hurts.
Not only you take a sack, it's taking a sack.
It really is.
And you don't have a chance, and that is huge.
We'll see how Prospect's able to respond. Should be second.
See how Elk Grove defense is also able to respond. We'll see. They're going to run here.
Chef is
now
up
it's a
the middle.
third down.
Now it's a deep third down. Now I think at this play right here, you got to be able to use Martin's arm and really throw it downfield, see what you can do.
Absolutely.
Martin in the shotgun again. Takes the snap, rolls out to his right, looks. He's got Chaffis on a screen. Chaffis breaks outside. He's able to break another tackle. Michael Chaffis going for the end zone. Right out of bounds inside the 5.
That's a first down.
Great run.
That's going to be a first down as well.
What a great run by Michael Chaffis. Staying on his feet, caught the ball behind the line of scrimmage. He was able to run the 24 yards and convert that first down.
It's also a first and goal too.
It is.
They're going to get pat. Actually, it's a fourth down. They called him out of bounds a little short, so it's a fourth down.
Still a 22-yard run.
Prospects still got to get the first down.
Martin under center now. Looks like they'll try to run up the
sneak.
middle. And they look like they'll have enough. Will Martin have enough for the end zone?
Be a little bit short.
Down at the 1. Prospect offense recovering from that intentional grounding. Let's see
They're
if
trying
they
to shut
can
it down.
board. And Martin's up the middle. He's going to score. Prospect back-to-back touchdowns this half. They go up 26-14.
And it goes back to the interception from Gary Moeller.
Really
Elk Grove,
does.
they gotta catch the football. That's why catching the football, those batted balls, they can kill you every way possible, and it killed the Grenadiers there. It gives Prospect now what hopes to be 13-point lead.
You said, too, that interception could be what sends Prospect to the playoffs, and I believe if the game continues to go the way it is, that could be the play that's, puts Prospect ahead for good of Elk Grove.
Who would have thought Gary Moeller, who was a quarterback last year, would make this big of an impact on defense
He's had such a great impact on this defense. It's so impressive, and it's so exciting to be able to see what he'll be able to do next year.
We'll see. We'll see what they do with him on what side of the ball. I think
going for two. It's a pitch. A shovel patch to good. Wow. What a play.
I think Tony Santangelo got the football and he ran it in.
Tony Santangelo does it all.
He can't just, he's not just going to kick, he's going to run the football.
No, you got to remember, he's the third-string running back, too. And he uses his skills right there.
Now it's a two-score game with the extra points, and Tim Beischer's unit has been really good.
Great play.
With blocking those extra points. What a pitch, what a risk there from the Prospect Knights.
Saw Brian Doherty running around the outside. That's who I assumed the ball was going to, but Santangelo was able to take the ball, sneak it up the middle. Great play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know, right?
And this place is excited. This team is excited.
What a turnaround for the Knights in the second half. It's been very impressive.
It has been impressive. They've gotten the defense going. The defense has held up. That's what they weren't able to do last week, even though they did have that. They had to go to overtime last week. They've gotten the job done today.
Jimmy so far tonight has really proved to be that all-purpose quarterback. He's had 23 carries for 101 yards and a touchdown now. Great performance so far tonight. Looks
Interesting
like a
kick decision.
Squib.
Just get down. Don't even risk it. Saw a couple weeks ago a fumble near there, and the Prospect almost got the football. But, man, it seems like special teams has always provided, like, an effect.
It has.
Against Hersey,
It has.
Hersey's kick return to end the first half just sent Prospect, I think it was, like, into an early gravestone, as we see Dan DeBuff, who was looking at his offensive line before the kickoff, his offensive unit saying, please, just keep it going.
Just keep it going.
Let's see how Elk Grove responds here. After an interception like this, a young football team, let's see.
Gaskill will take over again. Taking in the shotgun, he'll try to look downfield. He's got Fanzano, excuse me.
Apparently Jack Friedrichs ended up with the football.
Friedrichs has so far been a dominant force on defense.
He's been
tonight.
everywhere.
He's been really a key part of this defense tonight.
Absolutely, he has had a great game rushing the passer, as well as making big plays on defense. 21-0 in favor of the Horses at Grant Blaney Stadium, Rolling Meadows.
Gaskill will take it up himself, up the left side. He'll be able to rush for that first down.
Elk Grove needs to keep doing that. They got to find holes for these fast athletes to run the football.
Now Elk Grove trying to run an up-tempo offense with just under 9 minutes to go left in this game. Prospects taking over.
They have no choice but to run up-tempo. They got to get 14 points here, and they also got to have stop Prospect's offense. But running like that,
Ridge,
they
nowhere to go.
Keep it going.
So far, Prospect's offense has shut out Elk Grove this half. It's been a really dominant performance on all three sides of the ball.
Absolutely.
Offense, defense, and special teams.
But you wonder what's going on with Charlie Jancek, a guy who's had a really good football season for Elk Grove. He's on the sideline.
Yeah, he hasn't made much of an impact at all tonight. He came in
hasn't
for a
made
play or two,
I don't even think it was that. He has not played.
Gaskill, a risky play, almost intercepted there by Gary Muller again, but it goes out of bounds. Third down now for the Grenadiers.
Now it's got to make something aggressive happen. You got to make a pass here for Joey Gaskill. I know it's tougher. First big spotlight game, trying to spoil the playoff hopes of the Prospect Knights. It's a low throw there. You're right, Connor.
Gaskill again in the shotgun.
Watch the movement here from me and Ridge.
Ridge up the middle, finds a hole. He'll be able to get that.
He might be a bit short. He might be about a yard
It'll
short.
be close. Bring out the chain gang, but great play again
territory.
from Ridge. Trying to fight for those yards.
It's going to be 4 down territory, no question for the Grenadiers.
Have to at this point.
8:07, no choice. You got to go for it. Now it's going to be a question of what they do here on this 4th down.
Important play for Prospect.
It's the play of the game.
To keep this drive rolling.
Is Elk Grove going to keep going? And I think they
Up
will.
to Ridge, the middle. He'll find a hole, get 4 or 5 yards, and that will be a first down for the Grenadiers.
They're going to get that. They're going to give the handoff to the sophomore. So much confidence in his young players. Miles Osei has. Great job there for me and Ridge getting it on that 4th down play.
Gaskill, the shotgun again.
Obviously, there's so much implications for this game for Prospect.
Another screen to Ridge.
Wide throw. It was a wide throw there from Gaskill. Ridge is hurt.
Ridge is hobbling on that knee for a little bit. Came down a little awkwardly.
He's all right. Looks like he's okay. He's a big kid, big strong kid. Should be okay. Let's hope he's okay. He's had a great impact on tonight's game. He has proven one heck of an asset.
Ridge, a 5'7", 160-pound running back. So not the tallest, but a big, lean guy that's hard to take down because he's so elusive and so agile.
Yeah, he's got such great speed.
Gaskill will look to air it out deep.
His best throw of the night.
Tiptoeing on the sideline is Fancino. Great play right there.
There you go. Perfect job there. Giving it to a senior there. Sophomore to senior combo.
And
They're going to give it to a first down. That was probably the best thrown pass from Gaskill tonight.
I think it was. Elk Grove now driving in Prospect's territory, trying to get some points on the board for the first time this half.
Yeah, they have been shut out.
Now Gaskill again. We've seen mostly the plays tonight have been taken from the shotgun. Only QB sneaks really have been under center. Ridge nowhere to go on that screen pass again.
They've been going. I think they've been a little too conservative with their play calling. I think the short passes are great. They have quick guys. I think that's wonderful. But you're in a situation you're down 14 points with 6:44 remaining. I know
something needs to change.
You aren't making that. Your team is not making the playoffs, but you still got to put your best effort forward there.
I agree.
I think you're going to see a pass here.
Gaskill lines up. Another screen, this time to Aaron Herrera.
That's a big guy.
Herrera able
a tall guy.
Pick up some yards. Herrera is a 5'6", 140-pound sophomore. So it's a young talent on this Elk Grove offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some young talent on this Elk Grove offense as Matt Meyer is doing something on the sideline. But yeah, you're right, Connor. This could be a team to watch a couple years down the road.
Absolutely.
They could be something. I think Miles Osei has done just a fantastic job with this young, talented team.
Really, it's taken a long time, but I think this program is really close to really hitting that turn.
Just a couple years ago, they were a really good football team. So have a new era in boys basketball. Nick Oram is taking over for Anthony Furman at the end, and still a great softball program led by Ken Grams.
Enough with the basketball. It's still football season. Time winding down a little bit, just under halfway through the fourth quarter. Elk Grove driving, trying to score for the first time this half.
Another QB outside draw.
Take it up the right side to be able to fight for those yards.
He's going to get a first down, I think. 5:21 left, so they're going to have to keep it going.
More he does too is just winding down that clock. They've got the two-score lead. Just keep killing clock time. That's all Prospect
And I think
can do
Miles
at this point.
Osei might be using his timeouts in the next Prospect defensive drive, try and give them as much time as possible. But they got to score here. They got to get 6 here.
They do. Gaskill looks determined. He's got 3 set with Ridge in the backfield. He'll take it up to Ridge. He'll try to get a yard or two. Friedrich's trying to rip that ball out, unsuccessful with it. Ridge will be down at around the 3 or the 4 yard line.
This is going to be a 1st and goal, so they're going to get 4 more chances at it. That's a big big conversion there for the Elk Grove Grenadiers.
It is, but watch that clock too. We're down under 5 minutes now. The clock just keeps rolling. The Elk Grove is really taking their time on this drive.
They got 2 timeouts left, so they're gonna have some time left, obviously. And I think
Gaskill will take it up himself.
it's gonna be a bit short.
Good dive for the end zone. I believe his knee was down beforehand. Great effort though.
And he's down. It looks like someone's down on the Elk Grove off. And that's 52.
52, Tim Varga. You know, some of these players, these two-way players, really get gassed towards the end of the game.
That's
Cramps become a serious issue as well.
Cramps. Everything becomes an
Just
issue.
exhaustion.
It seems like, and that's why Dan DeBuff doesn't like him. He likes
No.
these guys fresh. They just take them out, and they're going to give up out 100%.
They
There's
are.
a guy who's like been in the game a long time, going to give him like 60%.
Ridge stopped by Friedrichs right there.
That's
Was the
a
first to
huge
get to
stop.
him.
'Cause now you're under 4 minutes.
Great play, stops him at the 1 yard line, and again takes more time off that clock.
Obviously, we'll see about. Let's see what they do. Let's see what Elk Grove calls here. Very interesting decision coming up here for the Grens.
Third down goal on the 1 yard line. Elk Grove really knocking on Prospect's doorstep. Let's see if Prospect's defense can stand tall, possibly force a field goal.
Possibly force even a stop. You would think it's 4 down territory.
Ridge.
No, they're going to get 6.
Ridge will get it. He'll run up the middle, find a hole.
What a day he's had. Now Elk Grove's got to kick these field goals. These 2 field goals, these 2 extra points are going to be very, very key.
Ian
for
Ridge,
the Grens.
2 rushing touchdowns, 1 throwing touchdown. He's accounted for all 3 of Elk Grove's scores tonight. He's been really a key player for this team.
He's been he and Gaskill have been just huge for the Grens tonight. There's a youth movement going on at Elk Grove, and I think there's a lot to be excited about. Left
Antonio Sandoval,
southpaw kicker.
the southpaw kicker, will look to make this a 1-score game.
Still
a 1-score game.
He drilled
but
his
with a
first
touchdown.
one.
And he'll drill this one too. So far, perfection from both kickers. We've seen Santangelo
called
go
it.
2 for 2 on field goals, 2 for 2 on extra points.
He just knew it was going to be drilled. He just knew it was going to be right down Broadway.
Sandoval now, he's 3 for 3 on extra points. So a great night for both kickers. And Elk Grove will kick it off. Prospect with 3 minutes, 26 seconds away.
Do they even risk an onside kick here? That's going to be the big question for
Very
Miles.
true.
I'll say 3:28, but you got 2 timeouts left, so you got to be careful.
I don't know.
But I think you go for it.
I think you do. They've been really aggressive with their play calling tonight. I don't think it
Their
really
defense-
changes.
Their defense has been good enough to this point in the first half. I think we saw a lot of good things from that defense in order to make them. I think they're going to. Yeah, it looks like their kicker. It looks like their kickoff specialist is going to line it up for an onside kick. So
I think that's what you have to do. There's 3 minutes left in your season. You have to take those risks, which we've already seen them do earlier tonight.
well, Hershey's still up 41-0 at the half. It has been a fun night for the Huskies and Joe Pardon over at Roland Goins Stadium. Looks like Rolling Meadows is heading toward a 9-0 season with Matt Mishler and crew. My goodness, that program is like an absolute machine.
Absolutely.
They just find ways to win every year.
Rolling Meadows a very, very good threat this year.
They're going to be hosting
Class 7A state playoffs.
both of them, both Hershey and Rolling Meadows, they're going to be hosting playoff games in the first round. They should be awesome to watch. Prospect likely will not be hosting a playoff matchup in the first round, but get that Hans team out.
And the ball fallen on.
Now you got 2 timeouts left, so does Prospect play aggressive here? Are they going to pass the football and go for the win?
I think if you're Prospect, you run off as much clock time as
But
you can.
again, is it too conservative to the point where? But this is the playoffs you're talking about.
That's true.
You'd rather win. You'd rather lose aggressive than lose conservative.
That's true. They'll run it up the middle.
Well, if you get
with
first down, it
Zards,
won't
and he'll
matter.
try to break to the outside.
He
He'll
will.
get that left side. Cut back in for an extra 10 yards or so. Great run by Luke Zards and tackled by number 14, Jaden Marquis.
It's like Miles will say, is still frustrated with something on the sideline. A lot of Prospect faces in this old Prospect football faces in the Elk Grove program. Mike Kamadula is one of the most notable. Assistant coach there for the Grens. But man, that was a huge first down on the first play of the drive for Tarzan.
Martin taking his time, running off that clock under 3 minutes now. Score 28-21, Prospect in the lead. And they'll hand it off again to Zards, and tripped up behind. Number 52 was Tim Vargas on the tackle right there. But
And now Elk Grove's going to start using their timeouts, it looks like.
They're down to one timeout. Now they're going to try to control the clock the best they can, try to force a 3-and-out, try to get the ball back and get back in this game.
You wouldn't even dare think about a 4-down territory here.
No, no, no.
No?
No, I don't think so. There's aggressive,
But
and then there's just plain stupid. That's my opinion.
That's true, but you just never know.
Dan DeBuff has really proven to be the type of coach that I put it this way. If I had to pick a coach that would run it on a 4th down like that, it'd be Dan DeBuff.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Connor. We thought this would be a pretty normal game. Both teams are going to come out to play. Who would have thought 2 trick plays would be that key in a football game like this?
I definitely didn't. I thought this would be a pretty an aggressive game, but you're right. You can really never tell. With both teams playing this aggressive and taking this many risks, you really never know what you're going to see.
Implications on this game could not be bigger for the Prospect Knights. A chance to return to the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. Obviously, if that happens, stay tuned for live tweets from wherever they may be. I'll be heading out to that location.
Martin in the shotgun. Zardzen up the middle.
And I think...
trying to check his face mask while he was running. A great run up for about 12 yards or so.
I think that might be it for Elk Grove. What a fight they put up, but I think Prospect is just running it up. They're finding ways to just cram it in at the end.
And the clock keeps rolling. Martin in the shotgun now. Look to score to keep going on this 1st and 10. Grove's defense showing pressure, showing the blitz.
What a pair of wins this would be. It seems like everything was going Elk Grove's way. At the end of that, and Dan DeBuff's going to use a timeout. He didn't like what he saw.
We've talked about before, Prospect really sees himself as a second-half team, and I think this game is a perfect example.
I think that and the game against St. Viator are perfect examples of that. And I think they could also be considered an overtime team. They won last week in overtime against the Wheeling Wildcats. That was a fun game to call.
You know, it may not seem very clear at the start. They might make some mistakes, but with this up-tempo offense and this defense, you know, the more times you see them, you know how they can just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Eventually, they will get the results that they want to see. We've seen that in Elk Grove. We saw that against Wheeling. We've seen that here against Elk Grove.
Absolutely. 2:08 left. You know, it really has been. It's been a absolute roller coaster.
It really has.
This season. It looks. St. Viator was probably the very peak, and it was the first big football game of the season. There was so much talk about that matchup, all the drama, all the after drama.
Absolutely.
And then that loss to Hoffman Estates, I think, just realized something in this football team. I think they knew that it's going to be a lot tougher.
Zardzen taken down by Varga again, but I think, you know, in the first year with the DeBuff era,
you're going to have peaks and valleys.
It's really brought all of the, you know, the expectations we had. He's really met up to those expectations. We expected a faster, up-tempo offensive team, which we've seen. We expected a playoff.
We'll see.
You know, hopefully a playoff team. We're about as close as we've ever been to that. We're about to see that. Yeah. And, you know, I think he's come to Prospect with a lot of high promises and expectation. And so far, he's really delivered. It's really been a fun year to see him.
Absolutely.
Zardzen will fight for those extra yards. Should be down around the 15. It'll be a close one, but he'll be just a yard or two short.
I'm surprised Osei's not using his timeout. And now he's going to use it.
3rd and 1. A first down would all but put this game away for Prospect.
Absolutely. What a night it has been here at George Gaddis.
It's been a very
special
night.
It has been a night, and I think it could only uphill from here for the Prospect Knights. I'm sure this student section, the underground, they are ready.
They're ready.
Are we expecting a mob onto the field like this game against St. Viator?
We'll see. But I think next week, if Prospect can clinch a spot in the playoffs, they better expect that the underground will be louder and bigger than they ever have been.
And whoever's the opponent, they're probably going to be loud too.
I think so. Zardson so far tonight, though, 20 carries for 105 yards. Really been a workhorse for this Prospect offense. Really great to see for them sophomore.
Also, check out the Periscope interview after the game with the non-sophomore head coach Dan DeBuff, as well as the game story after this post-game after this game.
You can check
it should be fun.
Should be fun. You can check out the Periscope on our Twitter, Prospector Now, and the story later tonight by Wyatt Utrecht on prospectornow.com. And with that rush, it'll look like Jimmy has gotten the first down. Elk Grove won't have a chance to stop the clock.
It has been an honor, Connor. Outback Player of the Game nominations.
I think Outback Player of the Game nominations tonight would be possibly Jimmy Martin, Luke Zardson. Both have played really outstanding games and again have shown how much they mean to this. And I think, after that play, I think Luke Zardson will officially tonight be our Outback Steakhouse Player of the Game. Great job, Luke. Congratulations again. And under a minute remaining now as my colleague Wyatt Utrecht runs down to try to get an interview with head coach Dan DeBuff at the end of the game. So it's just me closing out the last minute of this game. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Outback Steakhouse in Mount Prospect and Buffalo Wild Wings of Mount Prospect. They've been great partners with us all of this year, really giving us some tools to be really successful. And it's really enjoyable to be working here at the Prospect. We've got a lot of people who put in a lot of work to be able to show this game and bring it to you guys live. And we'd like to thank all of our viewers too. We've got about 139 of you or so. It means the world to me. I know it means the world to Wyatt and everyone who produces this broadcast for you to come out and watch us showcase our work. We really appreciate it when we want to thank you. And with that, Prospect will improve to 5-4, the first winning season since 2012. Prospect to win 28-21. A great game, a great season so far from Dan DeBuff. He's done a great job of really, delivering on those promises. I remember last February when DeBuff came in, it was a different environment. All the hallways were talking. There was this new up-tempo, different coach that was going to come in, and we didn't know what he expected. And so far, DeBuff has really proven, he's lived up to the hype, and I'm incredibly excited to see where he takes his program in the future. And as Wyatt talked about earlier, we'll check in tomorrow night, Comcast Sportsnet, around 6 or 7 o'clock, where the playoff selection show will be. We'll see if Prospect has enough playoff points to be able to advance to the state playoffs for the first time since 2012. But with their record of 5-4, they are officially playoff eligible. And we'll keep you on here. It looks like the student section might be running out of the field. We'll keep you on here. But we'd like to thank everyone tonight who turned in to our broadcast. And I'm Connor Graver with the Prospector, signing off. We'll hopefully see you next week for some playoff football. Thank you.